Yo, what's up guys? You're tuning in to the Mindless Corner. I'm your host, AJ, and today I'm solo dolo, man. I'm just here by myself. This is podcast number 5. Today we got a whole lot of topics to for me to go through, because when I'm by myself I tend to talk faster through the sections. But when I'm with someone else I can take my time and let it flow. But it's kind of harder when I'm just by myself. Alright, so the first topic we got today is finals week. It's still going on for me right now, and next week is going to be my last week up here in Knoxville at UT. So far so good. It's been pretty easy. Most of my finals has been mostly writing, except for 2 classes I haven't took my final yet for. That's next week. Those are tests, but so far all I had to do was write papers, or I had to write a short story for my writing class, one of them, and for my other one I gotta write a script. It's basically been a good finals. Nothing too hard. I didn't have to struggle and stress like some people out here. Not to say any names, but I know some people out here are struggling, real struggling. They on their last knees praying that if they don't do good, they're gonna fail. And I know people who are doing good, and if they fail it, then they do fail. And I know some people, they just gave up because they failing already. So, but I mean, if you was failing already, you might as well should have dropped it. But hey, what can I say? It's not my money, it's their money. Besides finals though, I've been having these reoccurring ideas going through my head. And what type of ideas I'm talking about? Mostly writing ideas. I mostly do book writing. I don't do screenwriting. Screenwriting is more the thing that I'm learning to do, and book writing was where I started. And I tend to have these ideas every now and then, and usually these ideas, they come from when I consume different forms of entertainment, whether that's a TV show or a movie or through music. I draw inspiration from a whole lot of things that people don't really, I guess really connect with, I guess you could say, or value, or I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the right word for it. I just can't. I got a couple of ideas for short stories over the summer. I had one idea where it's gonna be I didn't want to take it away from the movie, but it was gonna be a a love and basketball type of story, but it's not actually like that. It's where this guy who's a track star, he ends up getting injured, and there's this girl who got a father who was kind of like a Usain Bolt. He's well known, really fast guy, really talented, and everything's kind of easy for him when it comes to running. And that's her father. It's kind of this inspirational story for people who deal with disabilities and who play sports and had lost the ability to do that sport. That's mainly the core message in the story. But the romance between the 2 characters and everyone else, and their own individual arcs in the story, or things I just put in there to disguise the moral of the story, or the moral of that situation when it comes to disabilities, because disabilities are really a big thing in the world, in our world. Some people don't even treat people with disabilities like an actual person. They kind of pamper them. And I know this semester in philosophy, we had watched a movie concerning people with disabilities, and it showed what normal people do towards people with disabilities, how degrading it can be for them, because I mean they are people too, but normal people probably see them as lesser people because of the fact that they are disabled. They can't do things that we do, but in reality they can do things we do. They just gotta do it in a roundabout way. Moral of the story is, don't treat those people like that, because it ain't cool in the first place, and it's not morally right, in my opinion. And while we're on the subject of book ideas, also I've been contemplating what I really want to do with writing. There's this book writing, the thing I started with. There's screenwriting, the thing I'm doing now, and those 2 things are butting heads all the time. Most because I like screenwriting because it's simple, it's straight to the point, it's like directions, but it's still like a story that you're telling. But screenwriting has a whole lot of like restrictions on my creativity. Like, I'm a poetic type of writer, and there are some things you can't say. There's certain things you can't say in a script that you would say in a book. And what I mean by that is more or less like, it's gotta be clear. And as a poetic writer, I'm not always clear. I'm more of the imaginative and complex diving into your brain type of writer. I like to really, mess around with people's brains, move around a little bit. I mostly do that because being just clear isn't really my writing. Like, my writing is to be complex. It's to strike a chord in people. It's to have people figure out what I'm trying to transfer to them through my words, through my imagery, through my dialogue, through my characters, through my theme, through my setting, through everything in the book. I make sure to find a way to get that across to people. Sometimes I do wonder if, should I really be so complex? Should I just be clear like a script? Or should I continue to be complex and, run with it? Because, being complex has its perks, but being complex also brings a lot of complications. Mostly because when you're complex, you have a harder time like thinking. You want everything to make sense. You want everything to connect. You want to be really deep and philosophical or psychological or whatever. But when you're clear and straight to the point, everyone, no matter who, well, actually I can't say no matter what age, but over a wide audience, no matter who it is, they can clearly pick up your writing and be able to understand it. It's kind of that struggle between complex and clear. Book writing, script writing. I just don't know which one to pick. Like, if someone asked me which one would I like really want to do for the rest of my life, like, I really wouldn't know which one to pick, because it's like I want both of them to coexist in my life, because I have fun with both of them, and it's just like different forms of writing that I can appreciate and like really love to do. Anyone is able to come onto the podcast. Anyone who wants to like share their story or want to just come on just to talk, they want to say something to the world. Like, that's what I'm really trying to do. I'm trying to bring people like that on here. But I want people to come out to me if you're watching. If you want to be on here, if you want to talk about something, you just want to find a way to express yourself, or anything. Like, I'm really trying to find people, and I know people, but it's the act of asking them and getting them on here that's the hardest thing to do. I have to compromise sometimes too when it comes to timing, because I might be doing something, but if they can come on at this time, then I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and sacrifice my time to help them out, get them on here, then have them talk. It doesn't even have to be that you want to talk about yourself, that you have a dream, a goal, or you want to say something to the world. Like, it can just be a chill stream where we just conversate, we just talk, we just have fun. That's what a podcast is supposed to be. Just talking and just playing off each other and everything. But I mean, in my case, it's a video podcast, so you actually get to see the person talking. There's going to be another issue later on when it comes to like bringing people on here, because some people might not actually want to like be seen when they talk, and that's fine. I feel like later on there might be a shift in the way that the podcast is handled. Like, there might be times where I might do a voice, or there might be times where I do video. Like, it really depends on how it all is gonna play out, That's when I get more equipment though, because right now I just got one microphone on one camera, and I got a tripod, and then that's about it. I want like a real setup where I have like a table or something. I just got people around just talking, just having a good old time. Like, that's my vision for this podcast. There's a whole lot of changes I'm gonna do for the website too. So make sure, please, make sure that you're going to the website. Make sure that you're at least keeping up with me on social media to like keep up with updates. There's a whole lot of things I'm doing on there lately that I'm really like proud to be out there to put out, because the website is basically my collection of expressing myself to the world. Like, I got my writing on there, got the podcast on there, I got poetry on there. Also, if you don't know that I do poetry, yeah, I do poetry. Poetry's on there too. But also, there was a new thing. I was gonna add to the website. Now I think about it. I was gonna do like a reading, sort of. Like, I was gonna read off of like, well, I was gonna treat it like an audio book. That's what it was. I was gonna treat it like an audio book. Some of my work I was gonna that I've done already, I was gonna like read through it, chapter by chapter, like every week or so. And I was mostly gonna do that for like the upcoming projects I have when it comes to writing, especially that story I was talking about with the track star. I was gonna do like an audio book type of thing with that. And it's gonna be interesting, because I don't feel like I have the voice of like that soothing talker in the background. But I'm gonna see how it goes and like just run with it. Like, I feel like as long as I keep running with like ideas, like I can't fall. And also, this will put me accountable for doing chapters. So that's a great thing. Like, because I need, as a writer, I need like some deadline to meet when it comes to writing. Because like, when I'm just a free writer, I'm just writing just to write, sometimes like it falls flat. I need a deadline to like really encourage myself to like stick to the schedule and like keep actively going and writing. Because like there are times where I've taken breaks from writing. Usually they've been really long breaks, like I mean like months in between. And I don't want to go back to that stage. I want to keep writing even through the summer, even through a break period. All right, sorry y'all. Apparently my camera had timed out or something. Hope it's all right now. It looks good. I might look a little bit brighter. I don't know what's going on with like the weather today. Like, I've been using the window as a light source, and sometimes it's got darker and sometimes it's got lighter. I can't do nothing about it. I don't have my own type of like light source or LED like light or anything like that. But it's cool. I done fixed it now. Anyway, back on the subject. You know, I wonder if I'm the only one in college who has this feeling where going back home is it's not what I want to do for the summer or for a break or anything. Like, I'm more interested in like going off and experiencing something somewhere else in a different state, or you know, hanging out with some folks, or finding like a job that's not actually at my home, that's in line with my career, or like an internship or something like that. I wish I had that opportunity, because like there are times where I don't want to go home because I feel like I'll miss opportunities to find something like that. At home I get too comfortable, I get a little bit lazy, and I don't do much, and I hate that I do that when I go home. That's why I don't like being home too much. I mean, it's nothing to my family members, because I know some family members, they do watch my podcast. Hey y'all. But basically that's the main point. Like, I don't want to go back home and feel so lazy to the point where I just don't do anything. I want to get outside of that comfort zone. I want to go out and, you know, really experience something. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only college student with that same thought process. I know there are some students I know that they barely even go home. And I know some that go home like every weekend, which I don't understand, but hey, it's them. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I came out with this week. It was actually my second draft to my story called Evergarden, and it's on the website. I'll put like a website link or something around here in the video. So when you see it, you'll see it. Put a link to the website, the main page in the description. Evergarden is the second draft to my story. It was originally called Elaine Evergarden. And it's a story about the girl who is in the midst of a war, and she went up north to her grandmother's estate to flee the war. And she didn't know if she was going to see her father again because he enlisted. But basically the premise of the story has changed now. Now the father is dead. She got the news about his death, and that what made her to go up to her grandmother's estate in the north because she had no one else to live with. And she's younger in the second draft too. She's she's a teenager. Well, no, she's not a teenager. She's like 18, 19-ish. She's still young though, young adult. Her grandmother in the story, well, in the old draft, she had Alzheimer's too, but in this story, she really does have Alzheimer's, because in the old draft she was faking it, but in this draft she does have it, and she's kind of like switching back and forth between remembering and forgetting. And it's a deep story too, because the girl, she is like mourning for her father. Like, what I wanted to do with the story like was so many things, and I couldn't really figure out what I really wanted to do, so I just wrote the story. And turns out the main character is like an emotional mess, and she's like always like having like these suicidal thoughts, or she's always seeing things other people don't see. It's a very like emotional story, emotional journey for like anyone who will read it. It's about 15 pages long, and if you'll give it the time of your day, like, please go check it out. And if you have any like thoughts about it, and like anything you like, anything you dislike, you know, send it to me through email, mindlesscorner@gmail.com, or you know, you can contact me any other ways, like through the comment section on YouTube, or you could you know, find me on social media and like hit me up there. Like, let me know what you think, because I mean, it's still in the draft phase, and I'm still trying to like make it into like an actual piece. Draft number 3, as of right now, I don't know if I'm going to do it just yet. Like, I might put this story off for a while, because over the summer I got a whole lot of things going on. I'm gonna put this story off for a while, and I might come back to it the next year, fall semester, or maybe in spring semester. I might sit on it for a year and come back to it. It really depends. But yeah, make sure to go check that out for me. Alright guys, so we are in the Real Talk session, and today we got one subject. Will technology be the downfall of the upcoming generations? Now, it might be the downfall, mostly because when it comes to technology, like there's a addicting interest towards it nowadays. And you got people that like watch TV for hours and hours, or I don't want to say this because I do it sometimes too. You got people that's on the game, they be on it for like hours, and like you got people who are like stuck, have their eyes glued to the phone. You got kids, especially the kids. You got kids that got iPads and everything else. They're more interested in the iPad and their phones than actually going out like how I used to back when I was young. Now, back when I was young, technology was still growing, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. The kids weren't actually staying in all the time. Like people that was my age when I was a kid, I was always going out, hanging out with the neighborhood, you know, riding bikes. You know, back then, bikes, everyone had a bike. And we would just have like these little get-togethers, little like play around. Like I remember all these little things I used to do as a kid. And it's just crazy to me, like how much it has changed when it comes to like kids that used to be my age. Like I have a little brother. By the time he graduates in high school, I'd be like 32 or 33, something like that. Like I want to be like a full-fledged adult out here. That little dude, all he does sometimes is like stay on technology. The only time they do go outside is when like the neighbors would come over, or when my dad would like take him out to like do some training for like football, or him and my little cousin. Sometimes they'll go outside and you know they'll play around. Like my cousin, like he's one of those types where he has a wide imagination when it comes to like creativity. Like he likes to play around with like toys and like have his own little scenarios. And I think that's mainly because of some YouTube creators playing with like dolls and toys and making stories out of them. I can't name one off the top of my head, but I know there's this one YouTuber who has like a Mario doll and like these other little puppets, and he plays around with them, and he has like these scenarios where they talk and they have interactions and whatnot. It's like a story basically, but it's like a skit type of story that lasts for like a good I guess 20 minutes or so, or maybe even 10 minutes. He does that outside sometimes too, but that still takes away from the fact that it's not really the kids that's really bringing in the creativity. It's the technology that's really taking over their minds most of the time and making them go out and do things. I mean, technology has such a strong pull on people nowadays, especially when it comes to like a younger audience. In the future, when I'm going on like 60 years old, like how's it gonna be then? Like how far gone will technology be to the point where I can no longer keep up with it? How far gone will technology be to the point where we're no longer like physically talking to each other anymore? Instead, we're like talking to each other through holograms. I know it's like a sci-fi type of thing to say, but like it's a possibility in the future. Like technology will continue to thrive, and I think it'll like become even bigger with the upcoming generations because they're so into technology now that the older audience can't keep up with it. It's going to be the younger generations that really, you know, take the strides and making technology way better than it is now. It's a scary thought and it's a good thought in some ways too, because technology has done a whole lot of helpful things for people. It has connected people from all over the world. It has done great things, but it can also do bad things. It's like a double-edged sword. Like it has good points and it has bad points. The younger audience, the younger generations, they need to know the points between good and bad. They need to know what they really need to strive for when it comes to technology. What was the purpose of, you know, making it better? Make technology a platform or a device or what have you into a widespread thing that can help everyone and connect everybody on like a natural, you know, a natural field where we all are connected. Being social has done so much for like technology. That's why it's thriving so much, because it's a social platform. That's mostly towards the internet when I'm talking about technology. But technology itself, when it comes to like games or TV, it has connected people to like other people in other ways. But yeah, it's a really deep topic to you know really talk about, and it's something that, you know, we as the older audience, you know, still, you know, getting older, we should think about it, because our younger audience, they won't be young kids anymore. They might be upcoming scientists, engineers, or, you know, what have you, writers. You know, it's crazy. All right, y'all. So that's all I had today. This might be a long podcast. I don't know, because I kind of rambled on a whole lot really, and it might be dark again. I don't know if it is or not, because the clouds are kind of like moving in and moving out. I'm going to have to do something about the lighting some way, somehow. I'll figure it out. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the website, and support me on social medias, Instagram and Snapchat, and for the updates, that is. And oh, and while I'm on the subject of the outro, next week I might do like a on the road type of podcast, because I'm going back home over the weekend. So I might have my folks in the podcast as we're driving back. It might be a little active, a little bit of interesting how I'm gonna like shoot it, but we'll see how it goes, you know, go from there. Thanks for tuning in to the Mindless Corner podcast number 5. I'm your host, AJ, and I'll see y'all next week. Thank you.